Alright, so welcome back to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer, and specifically looking at the section 4, how to conduct a research and gather quality data. So by making this quick recap, because tomorrow I won't be able to look at the scores, right? So to make a quick recap uh, on the entire course, okay? In the first model, I saw how to start as a business consulting freelancer career, all right? To lay out the fundamentals here. And then how to get started as a freelance consulting career, as a business consulting career. So once you know what consulting business is, you align yourself with a profitable niche. You uh, you create a value offer. You now reach to this moment of the section 3, right, which is how to find land high paying consulting clients. So once you know again what consulting what consult what business consulting is, you align yourself with a profitable niche, then you know how to create an offer. You put that in practice. You start to get some clients. You know how to send a proposal. You know how to send a service agreement. You secure the payment, and then you gain some traction based on that, which with new clients. So the ultimate goal of this is to scale your business, right? And now with all of that overview, because after all, this is part of the business aspect of this is part of the business aspect on how to be a business consulting freelancer and how you can provide value to the client. Okay, so looking now on how to conduct a research, which is again part of the fundamental, is the foundation as a consultant, not only for business but also for your life. So how to conduct a research and gather quality data. So this course mentioned that data is something powerful and very important because it can help you to inform, persuade, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. So especially when you're conducting a research, gather quality data is crucial, and this comes from different sources. So you have is the first party data that comes from the company itself, if you can have access to that, right? They usually are behind to some NDN agreement. So once you sign that, well, you can now look as far data as they have. You can look at far back data as they have to see what they're doing in the past, how they have been performing, and see how you can provide your suggestions. The other source of truth or the uh, data source is from trust sources, which are anonymous. They have a great record of research report, peer review. They might or not, depending on the case, uh, subscribe to them, or you have to pay for them some way. Uh, and then you have is the least valuable from aggregate sources or these third parties, where the quality of the data is the reason of looking at this. Since, for example, there's some industry that You can have access to the first party data and the secondary data or these trust sources. There are few trust sources or non-existent, so you might have to look at these aggregate sources. So data where you need to check for the author, who the author really is, because some of the time they don't tell you anything. Uh, if you want to access to this data, they might be behind some paywall as well. A method to subscribe, a method to access content through subscription most of the time. And then I look at how to conduct a research from a broad perspective. So here is by looking at the mm, yeah, here by looking at the mm, 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 okay. So here by looking at the come on from the bigger picture by looking at all of these different things to consider when you conduct a research, and that is the play devil advocate with yourself because things are never black or white. Okay. Also, uh, keep notes and keep yeah take notes and keep record of every source you obtain. Gather relevant quality data and check the quality from those sources. If it's come from an anonymous source, you know who the author really is. Perhaps their data is behind to some paywall or their website that they show their data are behind or their poor grammar or their website feels something a little fishy as well. So, all right. With that, okay, with that, okay. So with that, um, then I look at Jesus. It's like I highly disconnected from myself. What happened? Jesus, goddamn, what the fuck is wrong with me, brain? Focus on what you're doing, man. Evil. Jesus fuck Christ. God damn. Okay, so after we make this huge overview of the on how to become a business consulting freelancer, okay, by looking at the fundamentals, and that is getting started to building a freelance consulting career, okay. Then the second section is getting started as a freelance consulting career, okay. So the next model, which is how to find and land high-paying consulting clients. So to make a quick recap of that three model is once you know what consulting business is, you align yourself with a profitable niche. You know how to send and make. You know how to make and send a proposal. You know when to find and land high-paying consulting clients, meaning that you know how to send service agreement, you know how to secure payment, you're starting to gain some traction on that. Remember that the ultimate goal is to scale your business, okay? And Uh, that lead is to this section 4 on how to conduct a research and gather quality data, because so far we have looked at the general aspect, okay, from the broad perspective, from the bigger picture. We have so far uh, what are the fundamentals on how to conduct a business consulting freelancer, right? Which is conduct a research, analyze the data, and then present results. But now we're going to look at how to do that, okay? Or at least one way to do that according to Paul Mendes. So here, um, on how to conduct a research and gather quality data, yes, so data is incredibly powerful because it can help you to influence, inform, or persuade, and also reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. So when you conduct a research for a consulting project, it is important to identify where is the most and least valuable source. So you have first party data, data that come from the company, secondary data from trust sources, and aggregate sources. Okay, the least valuable, because you can check is the quality of the data or their source or authors. There might be behind this some paywall, and then I look at how to conduct a research from a broad perspective again, right? That system of how to conduct a research, or the series of steps, is something that I'm going to explain that later. But right now we're looking at a broad perspective, like by playing devil advocate with yourself, because things are not black or white. Also, gather relevant data, take notes, and keep records of every source you obtain, and check out for the quality of those sources, the quality of the content or the authors. Okay, and then don't forget to circle back with your client. So most of the time, all of this client on Upwork, they are going to ask you to do a specific thing, a specific task, which is not bad. But the main issue with that is you can start with that to gain some traction, and then ultimately you build something. Uh, but again, this is something that will take time to do. Again, another reason why I'm recording myself here, to make this process as a social proof. So back here with the how to conduct a research, okay, and then now a case of study from Paul Mendes, especially when you look at tourist website, when they tell you, hey, you know what, you should look at their website, understand what they offer and all their product and service first, especially if you're going to conduct a research. And then you go into the specific. Again, remember to take notes. Okay. And then you go to the specific by looking at the category, pricings, company review, what makes this company unique. So once you do a website research, so you know what they offer, how much they charge, all their product and service. Now it's time to move, if you can have access to that, to the first party data, to look what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing, and uh, yeah, see how they have been performing, and see how you can provide your suggestions. Again, by taking notes, of this first party data, okay? And then that's when you move to the secondary party data by making this comparator analysis, because you want to know who the other players in that industry are in that area and see what they're doing. And it also takes notes and keyword from that, because that's what you're gonna use on your keyword research using any keyword research tool, right? Like from Google or keyword tool from keyword tool.io, for example. Okay. Again, to get a clear idea of what's going on in that industry, what's happening. And then, okay, is when you move to a broad perspective to look at the world's new, to get a real and update data from that industry and see everything that you have learned and you have researched, what is most likely to work today. Meaning, see how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. Okay, and because of that, then I look at my own practice, okay, which involve on the which involve on looking at here, okay, is on my own practice, okay, on how to conduct the research, but particularly to build a POC, a proof of concept, e-commerce with Knox, Vue, and Strap. Okay, but the whole idea here is to understand all of these concepts. How can I apply them and then implement something, build something, so build something. So first, I need to understand what an e-commerce is, and according to Amazon or Shopify, it refers to specifically to the transaction of good and service. Okay, so it is your bustling city center or your brick and mortar shop converted into zero and one on the internet superhighway. So Shopify mentioned that even that e-business refers to all aspects of operating a business, an online business. Uh, E-commerce refers specifically to the transaction of good and service. Period. And with that, then I look at the different types of e-commerce or business model. So here you have is the business to consumers, which is the most common business model, right? So you have here online retailers such as Amazon, Walmart, or Target on the US. You have the e-commerce marketplace where now consumers can purchase to individuals or small business to for good and service in place like Etsy, eBay. Consumers can subscribe or can sign up for a monthly or yearly subscription for service delivery or online streaming such as Spotify or Netflix. Booking, uh, so consumers can now book for a hotel, a car, or a flight in place like Expedia, Booking.com, and also consumers can order food through food delivery service and through online food and delivery service through online. food ordering and delivering service. So they can sign to apps that delivery where they can order for food to online restaurant in place like Grubhub, again from the US, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Rappi in Latam, uh, or you have is the business to business. Again, those were five examples of business to consumer. Another type of e-commerce is the business to business, where here you have is public procurement portals. Okay, so I mean is uh, slow down. You have here the business to business. I'm going to make a quick recap here because I am knocking off myself. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. So I prefer to slow down myself to talk that as I should do. As I should be. Okay? Be Jesus fucking Christ. Holy fudge. So after I look at the after I saw what an e-commerce is. Okay? So after I saw what an e-commerce is, uh, which refers specifically to the transaction of goods and service online, and the type of e-commerce or business model what you can have is the business to consumers, widely popular business model because you have things like online retailers, Amazon, Walmart, or Target, digital marketplace. So now consumers can purchase to the small business or individuals in digital marketplace like Etsy or eBay, subscription service such as Netflix or Spotify for online streaming or food delivery service. They can now uh, online travel and booking. Okay, so they book a hotel, a car, a flight in place like Expedia, Booking.com, uh, or food ordering delivery and food order delivery, online food ordering and delivery service. So now consumers can purchase and order food to online restaurants such as Grubhub, um, such as Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. Okay, then you have is the uh, business to business models, right? So like marketplace, where now business create a marketplace for business, such as Alibaba, Amazon Business, e-business or eBay business. So also uh, they can business business can also offer is hmm, business can also so you have that you have marketplace. You also have is IDA or EDI, electronic data interchange, where transactions or reports that were traditionally made on paper, like purchase order or invoice, now they have done electronically through this EB. EDI system. IBM provide that as well, for example, right? Uh, Also, business can set an online portals through uh, so very large business can set up online supplier portal to streamline their supply chain and process, such as Arrivasap network or wholesale supply center. And this procurement process is the purchase and sale of large good and service to get a good bid for the business. Okay, that's just one way to describe it. This is an oversimplification of that. And the other is the wholesale e-commerce, where now manufacturer and distributor provide their product to business in place like Ringer or Uline, right? A good example will be is, well, take a look at all of this example here. Uh, and uh, business or payment portals. So now business such as PayPal and Strapi offer is this business to business payment solution. So business can now receive and send payments electronically. And then I look at the consumer to business. This is, for example, freelance work, where now consumers offer their goods and to their service to business, such as freelance writing, website development, graphic design in place like Upwork, Fiverr, and other things, right? This is exactly where I am right now. Okay, I'm providing is my service to someone else, uh, and I see that it's not scalable and that's not sustainable. You know, over the long run, that's definitely not sustainable. I mean, okay, you can specialize into that, but not everybody is looking to pay you for that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, you might be in, especially in your field, perhaps you're going to receive small amount of clients, or one or two clients, but you need to make a scalable product. You need to make a thing that is sustainable. You know what I mean? It's like that. You need to make a thing that is sustainable for that. So, mhm. so, so now go back here, okay, to another example of consumer to business. So you have freelance work, online pay service. So now consumers can participate in this pay online service for market research purpose, such as SurveyMonkey, as one of them. Uh, Now consumers can raise funds to their projects or idea in place like Indiegogo, Kickstarter. This is also known as crowdfunding. User-generated content. So now consumers provide their digital content to business, such as Shutterstock, iStocks, or audio jungle, right? Audio, video, and image, photos, and also consumers can now put a price on a good or service in a reverse auction in place like name your price and price line, price line, exactly. Again, these are the five most common business model, C2B business model. And then I look at the example of government to business and the government to consumer. Okay, so government to business, so they provide these public procurement portals where now governments offer online platforms to business. Now governments, slow down, man, slow down to speed up. So public procurement portals. So many government provides online platforms for business to bid on online or to bid for government contracts, whether it's the FBO for the United States, Federal Business Opportunity, or the United K contract finder service. Tax filing and payments. So governments provide also portals to tax filing and payment systems like the federal electronic federal tax payment system on the US or the HM custom and revenue in the UK. And HM revenue and custom, HM stand for Her Majesty. Her Majesty Revenue and Custom. hmm Her Majesty Revenue and Custom. Online service in the UK, right? So the other is licensing and permit applications. So now business can often apply to license and permits such as food service or building permit. Now also custom clearance and international trade is now the government provides service to facilitate the cross-border trade, such as exactly so to facilitate cross-border trade, such as electronic custom clearance or export declarations. And when I look at the electronic custom clearance, after all, there are the customs on English is aduana in Spanish. Aduana in Spanish. Exactly. Aduana in Spanish. Okay. So and the custom clearance and international clearance. So it is government that provides service to facilitate the cross-border trade, such as the electronic custom clearance or export declaration. And the other example is business registration or incorporation, where now governments provide an online platform to business to allow business to incorporate, right? So many governments allow business to incorporate to incorporate online, such as Company House in the UK or the US Small Business Administration. When I look at the Business Small Administration, uh, they give you a lot of insight from that, right? Uh, Insights like or the things to know from this Small Business Administration. Okay, so from the Small Business Administration, 10 steps to start your business, right? So when basically, mm, find a counselor, like this, right? So browse business topic, like plan your, so plan, launch, manage, and grow your business. And this is something that is aligned very, very, very to applications, right? It's like plan, launch, manage, and grow your business. Mhm. Plan, launch, and manage. So plan, launch, manage, and grow your business, which is kind of the same thing uh, that I will argue that the technology mimic that from business, right? After all, so the technical aspect and the business aspect are closely related, more than you think, more than you think. So, okay, these are examples from government to business, public procurement portals. hmm Yeah, public procurement portals. And what I mean procurement is the uh, the purchase or sales of very large amount of good and service to get a good bid. And again, this is another simplification. But most of the time is that. So public procurement portals, tax payment and filing service, uh, licensing and permits, custom clearance and international trade, and business registration or incorporation. That's the reason why I'm looking here at the business incorporation, business registry. Okay, and see how tightly related is the business aspect with the technology. When you here you have the plan, launch, manage, and grow your business. Mhm. Okay, okay, okay. And then a look example of government to clients, right? Or government to consumers. Here you have is the tax payment portal, vehicle registration and licensing, passport applications and renewal, online bill payment, birth and death certification order. Mhm. So one of so government to business, and then the government to consumers, right? Mhm. Okay. So the whole point of this, which is something important after all. So the whole point of making this quick recap of all of the type of e-commerce is because now that I understand the basic from ChatGPT, right? Now that I understand the basic, and I have real life examples, okay, then I can identify where I am or where the business uh, stand. So I can offer is a particular service to them and also recognize where I am, what are the type of business I'm offering, and just talk to yourself. It's like, do you like to be in this particular niche, or do you want to scale to other things, right? You want to move to another niche, right? Perhaps for this, uh, yeah, perhaps for this couple years, I might be, I might stick to this niche, all right? Perhaps for this couple years, I'm thinking of the as 2 to 3 to 4 years, no, 2 to 3 years, yeah, 2 to 3 years, and mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And because of that, since this is the fundamental, the foundation of which industry I would like to go, the e-commerce industry, that industry might be quite saturated as well. The e-commerce industry might be quite saturated, but that might help me to get in to understand all the common challenge that an e-commerce face. Okay, what are the most yeah, what are the most common challenges that an e-commerce face? Mm-hmm. Totally, totally, totally. So we're making this quick recap of these several business model. You have business to consumers, such as online retailer, digital marketplace, subscription service, online book traveling, yeah, online travel booking, online booking, online travel booking, food ordering and delivery service. For business to business, you have digital marketplace, digital marketplace, EDI, electronic data interchange, supplier portals, wholesale e-commerce, or business to business payment solution. For the government to business, you have public procurement portals, tax filing and payment systems, international trade and and custom clearance, licensing and permits, and business incorporation. And for the consumer to business, right, you have is freelance work, online paid service, user generated content, crowdfunding, or reverse auction. And for the government to, this is for consumer to business, and for the government to business, you have public procurement portals, uh, exactly, public procurement portal, tax filing and payment service, tax filing and payment. Hmm, I confuse that. I confuse that. I have a confusion here. Let's need to clear that up. Okay. So yeah, I have a confusion here. So let's need to clear that up. This is the best moment to do that. Okay, different type of e-commerce or business model. And it is example: business to consumers, online retailer, uh, digital marketplace, uh, subscription service, online travel booking, and food ordering delivery service. Right. For the business to business, you have now digital marketplace, uh, IDA, EDI, electronic data interchange, supply portals or online supply portals, wholesale e-commerce, and business to business payment solutions. For the consumer to business, you have freelance work, online service, user generated content, crowdfunding, or business to business payment solution. When it comes to the government, so government to business, now they have public procurement portals, tax filing and payment, licensing and permit applications, customs clearance and international trade, and business incorporation or registration. And for the government to consumers, okay, you have is the tax payment portals, vehicle registration and licensing, passport applications and renewal, online bill payment, and birth and death certificate ordering. So for the government to consumers, okay, you have now this: the tax payment portals, okay, the tax payment portals, tax payment portals, vehicle registrations and licensing, passport applications and renewal, online bill so okay, online bill payments, and birth and death certificate ordering. Okay, so that'll be all for this video. Take care.